Hi and welcome back to my channel. In the previous two lessons about Excel basics, we have learned how to create the mark sheet for so many classes, and which will give you the pass, fail, the grades, everything dynamically. In the second lesson, we have learned how to create this dynamic DMC with completely just enter the serial number, change the class, and it will give you the marks of the student, the name, the position, everything is dynamic, and even the signature is printed, the logo, everything. And in this lesson we are going to learn how to manage your customers. So let's get started. First I'll give it a different color from till here till Z. I want to give it a different color. I'll give it a light this medium light blue, and I'll leave these first two columns. I need nearly 15 columns, so let me count the columns. And you can count the columns. It's very easy. Just write equal to, see a column and press tab. It gives me 3. I'll just minus 2, so I get 1. And later on I'm going to use this in the VLOOKUP. I need 15 columns, so this is 14. Let me draw 15 columns I nearly need. And here in the second row I'll create the heading. Let me give it a border and just write here customer list. Let's give it a size 36. Yeah, that's it. And I'll select Times New Romans, and give it a good shade. I'll press Ctrl 1, and in the fill effects I'll select the dark color to the lightest blue, and I'll select this one, this style, click OK. I'll go to the alignment, I'll align it in the center across the selection, and click OK, and it's aligned. That looks nice. And here I'll just leave these line blank, white, no fill. I'll give them a border, and this one I'll create the heading. And this one will be for the search, and that's look nice. I've already created the headings, so I'll just copy the headings from there. I've just copied the headers, so to save some time I'll make it bold. Control B, use Control B, and I'll increase the size, the font size, all of them. I'll change the font size to 12, and I'll auto size this name mobile. I'll select all of them and just double click, and it will auto size. Okay, so and I've already copied some data from there. First one is customer ID. Let me make it short, c.id, customer ID. And the second is the name, a mobile number. Let me zoom in so you can see it more clearly. Yeah, that's it, so you can see everything clearly. And I'll just reduce this size. So first is the customer list heading, then the customer ID, name, mobile number, and the address, city, and the district. I just selected a few columns, and the status, whether this customer is active or inactive or it's blocked. Just remove this so that I can create it again. And this is just a reseller and holds. This is just, and the opening balance. If whenever you start a business, you enter a job and you join a job, there will be some opening balances for a customer. So just this column is for the opening balance, and this is for the invoice amount, and this column is for the paid, how much the customer has paid, the balance. And here we are going to enter the last invoice date. We are going to find what was the last purchase, when this customer made the last purchase. So this is going to be the last invoice date, and when was the last payment that this customer made, and some remarks about the customer. We can increase the size of this column, that's better. Okay, let me zoom out so that all of it is visible. Yes, so this is it, and this is the mobile number, but I want a leading 0 here, because always the mobile numbers, they start from 0. So how to format this for the leading 0? I'll just select them, press Ctrl 1. You can easily go to the format from here, or you can select custom format. You can select more formats from here, it's up to you, but I prefer going from by the shortcut key Ctrl 1, and from here I'll select custom. In the custom, I'll just, as you see there, here you can see there are numbers, so I just want a leading 0, so I'll just put a 0, and the hash means number. So in our country we have 4 numbers in the beginning, so I'll just enter 3, 1, 2, 3, and then dash, and then there are 7 numbers, so I'll make it 3 and then 4, 3 hashes, space 1, 2, 3, 4 hashes again. So my number will appear like this. Let's press OK, and you see it has changed to this format easily. Now whenever I write a number, if 0, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, press enter, you see, and it automatically gets the format. You don't have to write the dashes or the blank spaces. So this is an auto format. You can format like that to get the, and this is the address, city, district, and the status. For the status, I have to create a data validation. So I'll have 3 status: active, inactive, and blocked. Maybe there are some customers, you don't want to deal with them, they have bad debits, they don't pay on time, so you want to have status for them also. So I'll just select all these rows and go to data validation, and select data validation. Here I'll select list, and I'll write here active, comma, inactive, comma, and blocked, and press OK. So automatically I have here active, inactive. I'll just fill all of them with active, press Ctrl D, and I'll just select some of them inactive. For example, I'll select this one, Abid, inactive. I'll suppose we have blocked someone, so I want to conditionally format the all of the line, complete line, the row, so that I'll know just with the first sight I'll know that this one is blocked. Let me say this was Wasim, it has been blocked, for example. Now whenever I select a block, this should be conditionally formatted completely. So I'll just try, first I'll try the formula here to show you it's working or not. I always, before giving a conditional format, try your formula. So I'll try here, just equal to, if this cell is equal to blocked. You must have the same spellings. Look, press enter, and it shows true. Let me drag the formula. You see it's false, so the formula is correct. Now I'll just copy it, as I'm going to fix this column. I'll select this cell, press F4 twice. So now you see that the I is $, and the row does not have a $. That means the column is fixed. So let me copy the formula from here. Ctrl C, press escape, select all of this data, and now go to conditional for home, conditional formatting, new rule, or you can use new rule, that's better. Using a formula, Control V. Now format, I'll just change the font colors to red, that's all. Make it simple. OK, and apply it. You see these two have been blocked, so the color automatically changes to red. If I make it active, it will change to red. So this will show me that the customer is blocked, so by mistake nobody will make an invoice for him. The next thing, I have already entered the opening balance for some of the customers. Now what I need is the invoice amount and the paid amount and the balance. So to have the invoice amount, I'll have to let me delete this remark, delete from here. To have the invoice amount, I have to create invoices. Let me rename this sheet. Just right click, rename, and I call it customer list. And so I need some more sheets, and how to insert sheets. One way to do it is just click here on the icon and it will give you a new sheet. Another way to do it is just use the shortcut key Shift F11, and another way to do it is right click, select insert, select the blank sheet and click OK. So this way you can insert sheets in your Excel file. So this is customer list. Now I need some invoices to create an invoice. Let me rename this invoices, sale invoice, INV, and I need receipt vouchers. I'll rename this sheet as RV, r.receipt vouchers. Let me rename it receipt RV, r.v, receipt vouchers. So here in the sale invoice, I want to copy the same format. I'm going to use the same format. As I'm going to use the same format, the same theme for my sale invoices, receipt vouchers. If you want to keep it different, you can, but I prefer the slide blue theme. So I'm going to, the easiest way to do it is just copy the sheet, press Ctrl C. I'll go to the sale invoices and select the first cell A1, press Ctrl V. This will bring the same format here. Now I'll just change this first cell, as it is customer list. I'll change it to sale invoice manager, or just sale invoice manager, or just sale invoices. That's enough also. Sale invoices. You see, and here I already have the headings. So I'm just going to copy the headings from there. To easily select the complete row and the data that is available, just hold Control Shift and the right arrow. You see all of them are selected. So I'll delete this. I'll also delete the data that has been copied from there. I'll just select and delete it. Now I have for this format. I'll use the same format for receipt vouchers. Control C. Go to receipt vouchers, just paste Control V. That's it. So I have the same colors. I'll change this to receipt vouchers. RECIPT, receipt vouchers. So this is the easiest way to create the same format, apply the same format for all of them. I'll just copy the headers I've already made to save some time. So I've already copied the headers. You know how to copy and paste, that you have learned in the previous lessons so many times. So I don't need these extra columns. I'll just delete them. Until here I don't need these columns, so I'll just delete them. And the same way I have, let me give it a border, a right border, yes, that's it. So, and I'll go to the receipt vouchers. I don't need these columns, as I've just copied the complete format, so I don't need these columns. I'll just delete them, and let's apply right border, and that looks nice. Receipt voucher number. So in the sale invoices, customer, this is customer. Now I want the invoice amount to be dynamic here. I mean, this Naeem code number 1, customer ID number 1. I want all of these invoices to be totaled here, to be summed here. And to do that, first I'll enter some invoices. You see here, I'll just start. And the basic thing first, before you start invoices with the invoice number in your computer, you must take a look at the previous invoices already printed. Most of the businessmen, they print a lot of invoice pads, ready invoice pads for them. For look at the last number. Suppose if the last number is 500, you must start from 501. So later on, if you want to enter the previous invoices in your sales, and you want to see how much because suppose if you have started from the half of the year, from June, and you want to, the boss asks you to enter the previous invoices, so you won't have any problem with the invoice number, because you have started for 501, and this is the last, the 500 is the last invoice in their books. So from 501, you will not have you will not get any problems in the duplicates or duplicating of the invoice number. So I'll just enter a date 17, and the customer ID is 1. Let me format this change to general, because just in customer ID, reduce the size and just make it short. ID, customer ID, and this date will change to, and to format the date, just press Ctrl 1. I prefer this, and select date, go to custom. You see here the date is DDMMYY. If to make it short, more shorter, I want just the year 23. Click OK, and the date is selected. I'll just apply this format. Select this, select the format painter, and wrap right here. Customer ID, and the name, it should be dynamic. So at the moment I'll just copy. There's nothing else to do here, because in the next coming lessons I'll show you how to do it. So I already have some data. I'll just copy the data from there to the sale invoices. So I've copied the data from my sale invoices. I already have entered to save some time, and here you can see my invoice number 501, dated 10/6/23, customer ID is 1. These are dynamics all, and this all is dynamic. So I've entered just a few invoices to show, and the other I've entered 502 for Tahir, name, like that. Now I want the total of this customer here in the invoice amount. So we are going to use the formula SUMIF, equal to SUMIF, press tab. Now the first thing it's asked me is the range. This range is the criteria range, because I have range, I have criteria, I have sum range. So this range is for the criteria range. So my criteria is going to be the customer ID. So I'll go to sale invoices, and here this column, the customer ID, I'll select the ID, I'll select a long range, for example 999, and comma. Now the criteria is in customer list. I want this customer ID. I'll click here, press comma, and the sum range is the invoice amount, the net amount that I have here. So yes, this is the net amount. This is the net amount, it should be selected. So I'll select here the net amount, long range 999, but you have to be careful that this range should be equal to this range. Now suppose if you say here you select 9,999, then here also you must select 9,999 and press enter. You see, dynamically I get the amount here. Let me lock the ranges, press F4. Here I don't need the name custom, because I'm already here. I'll just remove this customer list to save some space, and I'll just press, because I have to lock the column. So suppose if I drag the formula from one place to another, the column is locked. I'll press F4 once, it's completely locked. F4 again, the row is locked. F4 again, and now you see there's $sign before the column. That means the column is locked. And the same way I'll lock I just press F4 to lock the invoice amount range also. Press enter. So this is the invoice amount dynamically. Now I'll just fill the formula, and to fill the formula you can drag with this handle, or another way is just select the range you want, press Ctrl D. That's it. The next step is that I don't want these zeros. I want to give them a format, but later on I'll give the format. Let's complete our formulas. Now I want the paid amount. So the paid amount is in the receipt vouchers. These are the receipt vouchers. I have a customer ID. Let me make it short. Customer ID, and double click. So I've just entered some receipt vouchers. This is the number I've set from 201. In the next lesson I'll discuss this completely. I've entered the name. So and these are the dates. Now I want the total of how much amount he has paid. So this will get from the receipt vouchers. I'll go back to the sale invoice, customer list equal to sum if range is in the receipt vouchers. This is the customer ID is my range. I'll select a long range 99 comma. Now the criteria is in the customer list. The one is the first customer ID is my criteria, press comma, and then the amount sum range is the amount that has been paid. I'll select long range here also 999, press enter, and it dynamically shows me, you see here 7,000. It has calculated. We will recheck the formulas. Range, I'll just lock this cell table range. The criteria, I'll remove this customer list from here. I just want C5, and I'll press F4 twice to lock the column. Select the sum range, press F4 once, and it's locked. Now let's see the amount, the invoice, and let me take the balance also is equal to. Now I have to sum these two. So SUM these two cells, press enter, and minus the amount that has been paid, minus this amount. And the second way is very easy. Just write sum equal to sum these two together, the opening balance and the invoice amount, comma, minus the paid amount. See, this is also another way. One way to do it is to minus it separately. The second way to do it, just put a minus sign before the column and it subtracts automatically. Now I've logged this, no need to log these columns, so I'll just fill the formula. Control D. It's already filled. Now as these are all currencies amounts, so I'll give it a format. I'll give it a comma and reduce the zeros. I don't need zeros, decrease decimal. So this is the format. So let's check one of them. This is the opening balance. It says 2,800 for Naeem. Let's go to sale invoices and see here invoice. This is Naeem, this is Naeem. Let's sum it. This is 2,400. Hold the control key, and this is 400. You see here the total sum 2,800 and the count is 2. Here in the status bar you can see the sum also. So this is 2,800 and what we get here is 2,800. That means our formula is working perfect. And let's make some changes to see gets effect or not. Just enter 505 and it's on to, he just made a purchase on 11/7. Customer ID is 1. Hold this control key and we get here 4,200. Let's go to our customer list. We get 4,200. And let's check our balance formula, the paid formula, how much he has paid. We'll go to the receipt vouchers and see the payment. Naeem has made 2 payments, 5,000, 2,000. That is 700. We select them. You can see here it's 700. So our formulas are working perfect. Now what we have to do is, let me make this bold, the balance. You can select the complete data. Just hold the shift control key, press down arrow and control B to make it bold. Here comes the tricky part. I want the last invoice date. When did this customer come and had business with us? Suppose, let me write the full form, last invoice date. And when was the last INV date? That's too much. Let me remove this last invoice date and the last payment date. I want these dates, so I can know that when did this customer stop, when did he make the purchase, and when did he make the payment, the last payment date and the last invoice date. So I can, if suppose a customer doesn't purchases something 1 month before and I don't know the last invoice date, the last invoice payment, then how will I know that he should be called for the payment or not? But if I know the dates, I can easily call him that since 1 month you haven't made any payments. So how to get the last date? We will use the if formula, equal to, let me move this so it's visible, equal to if. Now the logical test is, I want to find this customer ID and return the maximum, the date, the last purchase date. So I'll first find the range of the customer ID in the sale invoices. I go to sale invoices. Here is the customer ID. So I'll select this. I'll select a long range 999, is equal to the customer ID in the customer list. This is the first thing. I'll remove this. Okay, don't need the name. Is equal to C5, then it should look for what should it return if it's true. If this range, in this range any cell is equal to C5, the customer ID, then it should return the date. Go to invoice and select this date range. I'll select large range, make it 999, press enter, and it returns 450. You must always understand that the dates are just number. When we format them, you can see months and years and everything, but actually how the dates are maintained in Excel are just numbers. So this is just number, this is a date. So let's format it. Go to, press Ctrl 1, shortcut, custom format. Let me select date, then custom format. Let's make it short, 23. Press OK. So this gives me 10/6/23. Let's go to our sale invoices. You see 10/6, but this is the first purchase he has found. He didn't found the last purchase. The last purchase Naeem made was on 11/7. So to find the last purchase, we have to close our formula in the max, because maximum always, max formula always finds the maximum number. Let me show you here. Equal to max, press tab, select this range, press enter. It will return the maximum, and the maximum amount here is 10,000. I want so let me delete this. Now here I want the maximum date, so I'll just press right here max, press tab, and just close the bracket, press enter. Now it returns 11/7/23. Let's go to our sale invoice, 11/7/23. But you must do this, it's better to hold the Control Shift and press enter. You will get a curly brackets. Now press enter and it gives us the date. So this means that it is an array formula. Now let me fill this down. Select the total range, Control D. So here you see I get the I haven't locked the cells, so let me Control Z. I have to lock the ranges first. This is F4, and here I don't need, I just want to lock the column value if true, F4. Control Shift enter. Now I'll just double click it, so it's already filled. Now these zeros, that means there are no dates there, so I've made no send invoices for them. Like Zahid has Abid, this one, it has no purchase in the sale invoice, no purchase on the name, so it gives me the zeros and this dates, and this looks awkward. So to change this, I'll just select the complete range and we'll give it a conditional format, but this time I'm going to show you a different way. We'll go to conditional format, highlight cells equal to 0, equal to 0. See, these all get highlighted as red, but I don't want them red. I want a custom color, and that is white. Custom format, I'll just select here the white color, press OK. OK. You see, now the dates, the formula is there, the dates are there, but they are not visible. They have changed to the white color and the background is white, so they will not be visible. This way you can find out the last purchase date. And let me change one date so you can see. I'll change just for this is Mr. Zahid. Zahid has made the last purchase on 10/7/23, 10th of July 7/23. So let's go to sale invoice, and this is Zahid. I'll just change it to 11/7. Press enter. Let's go to our customer list. You see it has been changed. Let's change Tahir, this for Tahir, sale invoice. This is the, let's change this for the name, the last one. Let's make it the current date. Today is 24/7. Let's make it the current date, the last one. Let's go back to customer list. You see it has been changed to 24/7. So this way you can find out the last purchase date or the last invoice date for the customer. And next is the last payment date. When was the last payment that this customer has made? To get the last payment date, I'll just copy this formula, hold Control Shift down arrow. I'll just Control C, copy it, and just paste it here. This way I'll get the conditional format also. You see, now I'll just change the formula here. Instead of invoice, it's logical test, instead of this invoice and the range, as we are matching to the customer ID, I'll go to receipt voucher, and here I'll select the customer ID, and I'll make it a long range, that is 999 3 times. Okay. And instead of sale invoice, here I should select the amount that has been paid. Sorry, the maximum, the date, the last date, the last payment date. Yeah, 9999. Press enter. So let me hold the shift control shift enter, and let me fill it. You see, now let's check our formula also. This Naeem has made the payment on here. Naeem has made the last payment on 20 June. Let's go and we see his last payment for Naeem is 26. Let's change it to the current date, and to insert the date, the shortcut key is Control semicolon. You see, this will insert the current date. Control semicolon enter, and let me change this to also to the current date. Control semicolon and press enter. I'll just change this to 25 so you can see the difference. Let's go back. For Tahir has made the payment, last payment on 25. Naeem has made the last payment on 24th. Let's go to our customer list. You see 24 for Naeem. Let me reduce the size a little bit so that you can see easily. It's visible. See, the last payment is for Naeem is 24th, and the last payment for Tahir is 25th. So this way we can get the last payment dates. Let's create a search bar here using the customer ID. I'll just remove the fill from here. Suppose I want to search, you have a long list here, for example, and you want to search for a customer by customer ID. Let me enter this number 1 so I can check that my view. in the start of the video I told you that I'm going to use these column numbers as column index, and the reason for that is because it makes your formula more flexible, and I'll just show you how. So I'll just enter here the VLOOKUP. Before we have used it, VLOOKUP, and the lookup value is this. I'll fix it by pressing F4. So the table and array is this one, from here tilde and tilde remarks, and I'll select a long range, that is 999 comma, and the column and index I'm going to select this one, the cell. I'll reference to the cell, comma, and I want the approximate match. Press enter. Sorry, I have to select the not C1, I'll select C2 because I want the name. Press enter, I get name. Okay, now let me lock this cell, the range also, by pressing F4, and the table, the column index, I'll just lock the row, F4 to F4. Yeah, now it's locked. Press enter. As I drag this formula now, I don't need to have to update all the columns, they become dynamic. You see, I just have to change the format. You see, this is near bazaar, dir, everything is correct, active, wholesaler, the balance is 5,000, 4,200, 700, 220 is the balance, and this is the date. So I have to format the dates. I'll just use a short date here, control 1, and go to custom date, then custom, and just select YY. Press enter. So here I get the short dates, and if I write a remarks testing, it's get, you see here, it's all. Let's center this all. Center them. See, it's getting the result. Let's change it to 2 now. And the flexibilities, for suppose at the end I want to give some, in every company there is a credit limit, so I want to write the limit for each and every customer which I have been agreed with. For example, here I want to enter another column, and that is for let me control Z. Let me just change this, make some changes in the VLOOKUP. This is number 1, so you can see the difference. I'll just change this last one. I'll change it to column number 15. It is 15. I'll change it to column number 15. Instead of the reference to the cell, I'll just change it to 15 manually. So you can see what is the difference between this and this one, the reference to the cells, and manually writing the column numbers. I'll just want to insert here the credit limit. Insert, I'll just write here credit limit, CR limit, short form. So suppose he's a wholesaler, I want to give him 20,000 credit limit. Let me change the font color because they clear the conditional formatting from here. And how to clear a conditional formatting, let me show you that also. I'll just go up, control up arrow. As I inserted it, automatically Excel applies the next column that has the format is applied here. So I should clear the condition formatting from this cell. I'll go to conditional formatting and select clear rules from the selected cell. Now let me type 5,000. You see, now it is visible. So suppose 50,000 is credit limit for the wholesaler, and for the other custom I also change the number formatting. Let's change it to general, and then apply this comma, remove the decimals, 50,000. And the other credit limit for the retailers is 10,000, for example. For every retailer, 10,000. I'm just giving an example. For some we have agreed with 5,000, and so on. Let me just fill this. Control D. So now as I've inserted this, you see, instead of showing me this remarks, it is showing me 50. Why? Because now this becomes column number 16 and this becomes column number 15. So as I fix the column 15, it will show me this column. So to make, when it is dynamic, it will automatically update. So let me just drag the formula. This becomes 15. I'll just drag this formula up to here, you see, testing. And this, let me change format to general, and let me apply on this also. Hold the control key, so I'll apply the comma, remove the decimals. So now you see, because they are dynamic, the column numbers are dynamic. So even if I delete a column, suppose if I delete this one, delete, see, it doesn't change because it's dynamic. So just Control Z, Control Z. I want to apply a conditional format for the credit limit also. Like always, I'll try the formula here first, and the formula should be that is this credit limit, that the balance should not be greater than the credit limit. So I'll press equal to, this balance should not be greater than this credit limit. I'll fix the columns by pressing F4 twice, F4 twice, press enter. It returns false. As I fill the formula, it will return true. You see, it returns true for this one because this one has crossed the credit limit. The limit is 5,000 credit limit, and he has made the purchase of 10,000. So now I want to conditionally format it. I'll select this, copy this formula, Control C, press escape. I'll just delete them, select all the range, go to conditional formatting, new rules, and using formula Control V, I'll just make it, font should be in red color, that's all, red, OK, and press OK. You see, as you can see, these dates, they are also in red color. So but I previously formatted to white, so to get them back into white color, I'll just change the sequence. By changing the sequence, you can see that they will automatically turn to white back. I'll just move this conditional formatting to the end or to the next one, press apply. You see, they went back to white color, and now those who have crossed the limit will also appear in red color. And we can use these two options, the blocked option and the crossing of the over limit of the credit in while we create invoices. Here in the sale invoice, we will create a warning here, so that will show us that whenever we create an invoice for someone, it will show us a warning that this person is either blocked or his credit limit has been crossed. I'll just change this format to general because I've copied the formula, so the format went there. So I think you hope like the video, and if there's anything you want to add more, or you have other options you want to see in the customer list, I'll be glad to hear from you in the comment section. So don't forget to comment and like and subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching.